All right, you guys, here we are. It is, day 7. So I'm going to get right down to it. Day 7. That means we are over halfway. So right now, congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, however that works for you. So whatever part you've chosen to participate in this is a success. Okay, most of the time it is this awareness that happens, and perfection is where you are right now. So congratulate yourself, look yourself in the mirror. If you're listening to this, even you are on day 7, and if this is after the fact, then that's okay, because the information is still incredibly valid. This is an ongoing thing, you guys. The concepts aren't brand new. Most of the time, you've been exposed to them somewhere, and they're just being brought back to you for you to review again. Is it time for this to come into your life? And are you ready to grasp it? And what part of it are you going to take with you going forward? That's why this isn't a challenge, okay? A lot of times in challenges, we get really good at something for 30 days, and then we kick it back to the old lifestyle. That's not where we want to go, not anymore, okay? This is one of those things where you can do this kind of thing every year. It brings great awareness around what you are, what you want, why you're doing it, why you're even interested in it. A lot of people are very interested in it, as should you be. If you have room in your life to step it up a notch, I don't care if that's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, they are all just as important. As a matter of fact, a lot of us were talking about moving it or losing it today. We take a full hour, if not more, and we dedicate that to our physical body. I would say just as importantly, in one day, you should do the same thing for mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Not just one day for spiritual health at the end of the week or beginning of the week on a Sunday. Every day attention matters. And that means your mental, emotional, maybe you're working on your shadow self, or those emotions that keep you stuffed and trapped in bad relationships, a bad job, a situation, and you're not free to be the being that you're here to be. And that's not what this is about today. Today we're talking about movement. So let me just jump into that. But it's coming up a lot because a lot of people are feeling trapped in their lives. And here's the truth. It's up to you. You don't have to be trapped. You can make changes. You always have a choice. And I know there's a lot going on with suicide awareness right now, heavy mental depressions, anxieties, things like that. And I'm just here to tell you, you always have a choice. Always have a choice. If that means coming and talking to me or somebody in your family, I promise you someone will want to listen and will want to help you or whoever it is through that. Okay? Always have a choice. This is a gift, this life. So let's talk about movement. Movement, and I love this quote, and it's in the beginning of your of this day. Movement is medicine for creating change in a person's physical, emotional, and mental status. And I would add spiritual to that. It drives all that cell energy. It's so amazing. So to most people, healthy movement is exercise, as in like cardio, gym time, classes, weights, yoga, all that stuff. But moving your body is much more like improved thinking, stronger relationships, and expressing your purpose in life. So let me repeat that. Moving your body is about so much more, like improved thinking, stronger relationships, and expressing your purpose in life. A love it. Okay, we all know that being active is good for us, but what you don't realize is how good for us it is. That's really true, you guys. I kind of wish we were Q&Aing today because I love to hear the feedback on this. Those who think they have not time for bodily exercise will sooner or later find time for illness. With so much illness going on in the world, and right now, I kind of consider illness being an imbalance in the body. So imbalance can be rebalanced, and your body is incredibly resilient. So sometimes when we're overtraining or we're taking training to another level, it can be depleting. So really want you just to think about that. It doesn't mean that there isn't a time for that. It's just that you don't want that to be all the time, if that makes sense. Movement can be relaxation and the tension. So this is true in a lot of our movements, in breathing, relaxation and tension, in stretching, in the work itself, in everything. It's about how the breath works with the movement. Okay, so none of us know that it is scientifically proven that a high level of activity makes us smarter, happier, and more successful, as well as strengthening the immune system. So what I said is, I can't remember what I just said. Not all of us actually know that it is scientifically proven. So this is why when we say stay fit, stay healthy in our gym, because when you're moving, we know that the other areas of your life are improved as well. And we want to encourage you and be a part of that for you. So activity helps to relieve symptoms, depression, anxiety, and if intense and done regularly, activity also creates better sleeping habits, self-esteem. So these are really important things. So I almost can put sleep ahead of food. It's crazy, but if you're not sleeping well, a lot of the things you can do in your life are minimized to the effect for what they have for your body. Sleeping is just so important. Sleeping, breathing, the nervous system is so powerful, you guys. All right, I'm trying to make this a shorter video, so let's talk about it. 2 types of activities. There is just regular exercise, got an itch, and the NEAT, which is non-exercise activity. And those are things like waking up in the morning and moving around, walking to the kitchen, stuff like that. Stuff that isn't considered exercise, but you do every day. It just is what you're doing in your day. So the reality is, if you're in this program and you're not moving a lot, it is not realistic to think that you're going to go from that couch potato extraordinaire to marathon runner within 12 days, and we're on day 7. What it is meant to do today is to have you consider what you like to do, what's valuable, and how you can incorporate that into your lifestyle. Okay. If you thrive in a class environment, then you want to go to somewhere that has class activities for you to do. Maybe you want to get into your own headphones and your jam and do your own thing. That includes just walking. And I say just walking, but I've known people that have lost 100 pounds just walking. And it depends on what's going on for you, where you are in your life. For me, I rotate through high intensity, exercises along with yoga, along with breathing. Sometimes breath work alone. Yoga is about the breath primarily, but most of us think of it as a stretching movement, that type of thing. Those are really important things. And they can be just as taxing as high intensity exercise. So I always find that a variety of things throughout your week are actually, the combination is what makes it happen. Okay, so let's just say you're a 5-day-a-weeker at the gym, and that's either weights or high intensity movements, things like that. Then you've got a couple of days of stretching or yoga, tai chi, one of those little slower movement. I'll say slower, but the energy and the blood flow is moving just as much. And I am newly into breath work as its own exercise, like fire breathing, whiskey breathing, coffee breathing, things like that. The type of breath makes a difference. And there's so much you can actually do with the breath. It's incredible. It's incredible. The Shaolin monks absolutely knew how to use, or still do, I shouldn't say knew, how to use their breath. Okay. Movement happens all day long, even if it's not a planned exercise. So that is what non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, is. Okay. It's actually more significant than planned exercise. That's not to say that they don't have, both have value. You moving around a lot has value. So those people that have a more active job or daily routine will see that in when we start measuring calories or looking at BMR, basic metabolic rate. Okay. And then if you have weight manipulation you want to do, or body composition, then we take that into account. Your body uses calories each day and confirms that NEAT activity is actually more significant than planned exercise activities. Oh, I just read that. Sorry, guys. Let's just move to, yes, listen to your visualization today, read and complete the worksheet. So you guys, if you're not taking advantage of the worksheets, they're very short. They're meant to kind of stimulate your thought process, to hold you accountable to writing some things down, because we kind of go, yeah. And then when we go, oh, I heard that somewhere. And that is my journal's up there again. That is the value of your journal. Like I said, you don't have to print everything off. The important stuff, print it off. What I like to do, especially in programs like this, is I'll take it, I'll copy it, and then I'll throw it into a Word doc, and I'll make a full worksheet for the whole program. I should actually think about doing that for this program. But the challenge is a lot of people just want one page or another page. So you take what's valuable to you and then create a document for it. And then you can also put that into your journal. But most of the time, just making notes in your journal is enough, because when we put pen to paper, it changes everything. So get off the devices as much as you can and use your own energy, your own brain power, your writing, and it makes a huge difference. All right, so movement during a cleanse. And we talked about this. So to me, this is kind of a light cleanse. We're not using a lot of supplements. We're not using any supplements at this. So I find that even moving with food, since I'm not doing any fasting, or I'm not doing any juicing at this point, anything significant, I feel more nourished than sometimes you'll feel depleted. And some of you are experiencing this because it's a different feeling of full. You don't feel as full or stuffed as maybe you have in the past with different foods like grains, chips, breads, pastas. Those kinds of things can give us a different feeling of full. Sugar, on the other hand, gives us a whole different experience where we get that high energy and then that crash going on. So what you can do is look at where you're starting. If you are feeling tired, take a nap. Rest 20 minutes. That's all you need. You don't need a full, it just depends on where your health is. Let's start with that. And if you are moving around a lot all day, please take that into account. A lot of people are discount the fact that they have an active job. Don't do that and try to stack stuff on top of it. At one point I had a gal, she was in high school, she's studying, she was doing sports, she was doing an ROP program that was aggressive, and then she was on the side going through a very active training for the fire department, and then said, oh, I got to come in and exercise. Well, that is not the time to throw down when your stress is so high that you have no time to rest. So her sleep patterns were off, eating was off, just couldn't find the energy to rebalance. So we really had to work on how did that schedule work and where do you fit those things in. Well, you can go to the gym, you just don't throw down every single time, right? You save enough energy to get the quality of work in, and then maybe a couple days a week you throw down. I mean, does that make sense? All right, talk to me about this if you have questions. More isn't always better is basically what the theme of this is. So let's see. Experts use 10% as a rule of thumb for weekly change, meaning you can add 10% onto your activity each week without overdoing it or pushing it too hard. So 10%, I don't know. How do you measure that? These are kind of the expert things that are going on. I am a advocate for you. You are the expert of your own body. So you know when you push it too hard or when you pull it back too much. You know. I know you know. Sometimes as a coach, my job is to remind you when I see it. Because if I see it, it's been going on for a while. Because generally, I know you. And if you want an honest answer, ask for it. Someone will give it to you, I promise. All right, so any exercise with which you sweat will help you detoxify your body. The nice thing about that is you can start with anything from the Swiss ball, just literally sitting on it and bouncing on it gently, to a rebounder, as long as you're not falling off. We have those small ones. Sometimes we use that for lymph. We use it with cancer patients. We use it with many different kinds of recovery. It's super helpful because the body is gently moving up and down, and some people will break a sweat from that. Also depends on the heat in the room. And one thing on hot yoga, over hot is not always good. So make sure you stay hydrated and that the person that's running that program understands the value of heat. I went to a studio a number of years ago and they just made it so hot all the time. There really wasn't a benefit other than everyone got really sweaty, which seemed like it made it like a good workout. And at the end of the day, it really wasn't the best for everybody. And so when all those studies came out, and those of us that actually knew we were being dehydrated often, we kind of stepped back from it anyway. So just pay attention, because sometimes it feels amazing. Like you're in there, you're sweating, it's great. But much over 100-ish degrees and it's too much. I mean, heck, we get that in the summer. So anyway, listening to your body, you are more intelligent than you think. If you're not sure, do some homework on the movement that you want to do. You've all probably heard of Wim Hof breathing or box breathing, and a lot of those require different types of temperatures as well that go along with them. All right, so I go into some stuff here on the mini tramp. Honestly, you guys, the mini tramp is pretty intense. When I'm working with lymph system, I am using that oftentimes for recovery from illness as well. So if you have one, it'd be a good time to pull it out. If it's not squeaky, you can do it anytime. Anyway, yeah, this is your time. Get to know yourself. Understand why movement is important, first of all. That's the one thing I hear when people come in. I wish I hadn't stopped. Or it's been a while since. I know you're busy, but it's worth it. Walking is worth it with your kids, with your dog, your cat. I don't know how it could work. Turtles. I've seen a lot of people walking with many things. Horses. Movement. There's two ways that the lymph system functions at its best. One is through the breath, and the other is exercise or movement. All right, you guys. I love you. Have an amazing Tuesday, because we're back on track here. All right, talk to you tomorrow.